Last night I touched on the incessant, never-ending, constant complaining, and frankly, lack of accountability of that guy, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. His state is the epicenter of the coronavirus in the United States. They are facing a real crisis. New Yorkers need and deserve help, and the president has rightly directed the full, complete support of the federal government. Unprecedented assistance has been given and will be given as promised. Billions of dollars in federal funding. Chuck Schumer said at least out of this bill, $40 billion that was signed into law will go to New York. On top of that U.S. Navy hospital ship, it will be leaving tomorrow. It will be in New York Harbor on Monday. 4 temporary hospitals are being erected by the Army Corps of Engineers. Donald Trump is making that happen. And look at your screen. Another 1,000-bed hospital set up by FEMA. Look at that. That's at the Javits Center in Manhattan, in New York, to prepare for potential overcrowding. That's 5 separate hospitals the president has secured for Cuomo, the state of New York, the city of New York. The president also sent the National Guard to help with the state with logistics. And he has sent, more than 4,000 ventilators alone this week. Everything that New York will need, Cuomo has requested, the president has delivered. But, I watch day after day, and he says it. He talks with such great authority. These politicians all talk, no action. That's what we're getting from Cuomo. Sounds great, sounds authoritative, sounds wonderful. Came on my radio show for 40 minutes. Yeah, we'll all work together. Today, he had nothing but more whining, bitching, and complaining. It's getting pathetic, Andrew. What are you doing, and why didn't you prepare better? We'll examine this. Take a look.
Were there ventilators found in a storage facility or something that the president is claiming that there were ventilators found that they need to be distributed? Is there any truth to that?
That is incorrect and grossly uninformed. The point is, we have ventilators in a stockpile, and we didn't send them to the hospitals yet. Of course we didn't. That's the whole point. The hospitals don't need them yet.
Oh, they don't need them yet. But it's a nice hospital behind you. Thank Donald Trump. Maybe once in a while just say, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you to the American people. They're paying that bill. Now, he even admits they don't currently have a ventilator shortage in New York. We need 40,000. Okay, if you need 40,000, we'll get you 40,000. You're not even using the money, the 4,000 you got this week. As circumstances change, the president has pledged to everybody he will continue to move heaven and earth to get New York and every other state any ventilators, any medical equipment they need. It's not exactly been the simplest endeavor. Nice hospital behind you. Oh, the country paid for that, Governor, the country. And the country does now have the right to get answers from you, both the governor of New York and the mayor of New York City. New York is an international state, and it's an international city, New York City. People from all over the globe come right here. We know last year that the state of New York, they spent over $170 billion. I know, I live here. I pay a fortune in taxes, as does everybody else. The city of New York, they spent another $90 billion. So why didn't they have the emergency supplies at all? They seem to have little or none, zero preparation. What part of being the #1 terror target in the country did they not seem to understand? Because you got millions of people highly concentrated in a very small area. How is it possible you were not prepared for emergencies like pandemics, close proximity, millions of people? Yeah, you would be most likely to have the most difficulty. Governor Cuomo, you are now in your 3rd 4-year term as governor. There's no excuses sitting there lecturing. I need 40,000 of this and 60,000 of that. Really? Why didn't you do your job and allocate the emergency dollars for moments predictably like this? New York's the #1 target in the entire United States for terrorism. Now, Andrew Cuomo, we have looked at how you have spent money in New York. Look at this, a whopping $750 million for a solar panel factory. By the way, where is it now? Closed down. $90 million for a light bulb factory or company in California. What's that? Whatever happened to that, Andrew? Or the $600 million you spent on a computer chip factory that sits empty? Millions spent for, brand new I love New York signs. Governor, I have a question for you. How many ventilators? How many gowns? How many masks? How many gloves? How many respirators? How many generators? How much fuel could you have stored and have purchased with just some of that money? And yet every day he goes out there, need this, I need this, he needs this, not going fast enough. I need 40,000 ventilators, you're not using the 4,000 you have. And he sits there lecturing the president and the task force. They're moving heaven and earth, rightly so, for the city and for the state. How about saying thank you to the American people? They're making that happen for you. The president and his task force, they're making that all happen for you. Great photo op in the hospital they built for you. And don't forget, according to a former New York State lieutenant governor in 2015, remember? Yeah. Wow, even the liberal media mob reported this. Cuomo was warned that his state would need additional ventilators to manage any future pandemics. He chose not to buy them. I guess he needed the money for the solar stuff. So you got Cuomo, Comrade de Blasio, whining, bitching, complaining. Every single day, they take no responsibility for their failure to prepare and wasting all the waste, fraud, and abuse on their watch. Governor, Mayor, maybe it's time you be grateful to the federal assistance that you will rightly continue to receive as it pours into the state of New York. You have any problems with the bill passed? Only $3.5 billion. No, your senator, Chuck Schumer, says over $40 billion. The president has been delivering on his promises to you. And Cuomo and de Blasio, well, you need to now